Sometimes really profound things happen when you least expect it. A new normal. I wasn't planning on doing a video today, but I'm sitting here getting ready to do my hair, and I thought, you know what? I have a lot to get off my brain, so here I am. One of the things that has been helping me on my recent journey toward improving my self-care is actually being on my medication for my ADHD. Now, it's not perfect by any means. I mean, when I take my Adderall, I probably can improve my executive dysfunction roughly about 30%, but 30% when you're typically at zero is quite a lot. I'm finding now that when I take my Adderall, it typically kicks in about 20 minutes to half an hour. And then I find myself, wanting to like putz around the house or whatever. And so my new routine is once my Adderall kicks in and I'm feeling like I'm starting to putter around or I want to do something, that's when I will go in and wash my face and brush my teeth. And that's really been working for me. And yes, I take off my new glasses and put on my old ones when I do my hair, so I don't ruin my new glasses with all of my hair products and greases and all those sorts of things. So I put them in this little case. But anyway, I noticed that once everything starts kicking in, like within half an hour, that I feel more motivated. Now, I feel more motivated, but I still get frustrated because motivation does not translate into, functioning. But it at least gives me motivation to at least try and to get through it. That's been a positive thing for me. And so I'm realizing how to use my Adderall effectively for me and for trying to establish some kind of routine, And so one of the things that has been helping for me is recognizing when I've got the motivation to do something and when my brain has quieted enough for me to, at least do A, B, and C. Like I've said before, I'll never be that person to be A through Z. I'll never be that person. But if I can do A, B, and C and feel like I've accomplished something, then that's a big win. So my early morning routine, I still have this on. I just got through washing my face too. And so my morning routine starts before I'm even completely awake, which is the beauty of it. And so once I wake up, once my dog wakes me up, we start our morning routine. And then after he's done, eating, we go out and we play for, not very long, 5 or 10 minutes. We go out and play, so he can get some energy off. And then I come back in, and then I will put on a YouTube music that I found. I really like listening to upbeat lo-fi in the morning, and it tickles my brain, and it keeps out the intrusive thoughts. And if you have intrusive thoughts, you know how totally devastating they are. They're scary, they're uncontrollable. There are things that we think about that we don't share with other people because they would think we're, nuts. But I struggle with intrusive thoughts, and I have found that when I put music on, it doesn't bother me as much. And it's like the music drowns out the intrusive thoughts that are going on in my head. And so I'll put in my earbuds and I'll put on, one of my favorite lo-fis, and then I'll just like crank it. And then I love doing that first thing in the morning because while I'm not thinking, I can, maybe get a few dishes done that, don't need to go into the dishwasher. I might have a few left over from like the night before, and then I can go ahead and knock those out without standing at the sink and letting my mind wander into intrusive thoughts. Because when I'm not busy, if I can't get my mind busy while I'm doing something, like right now, I'm talking to you, but I'm doing my hair. I need to do several things going on at the same time to stop the intrusive thoughts. Once I held the intrusive thoughts at bay, then I noticed that I could do other things. And so in the morning now, after I put in my music, part of my new routine, after I'm done playing with the dog, after I'm done, cleaning up any little kitchen things, then the next thing I do is I've been exercising every day. I do it before I wake up and realize what I'm doing. And I do 25 minutes every stinking morning on my glider. And then it just makes me feel so much better for the rest of the day. And at the age of 64, I'm getting in pretty good shape, and the junk in the trunk's looking mighty fine, for my age. Anyway, I've noticed that, playing music really helps. Another thing I do when I'm on the glider, as far as establishing a self-care routine, is I need a lot going on in my brain to realize that I'm really not exercising. And I know that sounds weird, but I trick my brain. I'm not really exercising. I'm listening to music and I'm reading the news, on my phone at the same time that I'm working out. So I've got 3 things going on all at once, and my brain loves that. It makes my brain so happy. So if you haven't tried that, give that a try, because I'm finding out that when my mind wanders, that's when the executive dysfunctions even further. And I'm finding that if I shove enough things in my brain to make my brain happy, music and news and working out, my brain's happy. That's how I start every stinking morning for my routine. Whether my entire day is successful or not is actually a moot point, because my morning routine is established. And then after I do all of my working out and all of those sorts of things, then I cool off. I come in and I'll watch a few YouTube videos, or I'll look and see if I have any comments, because executive dysfunction, I'm really bad at writing back comments. So sorry if I don't get back to you right away. It's not that I don't love you, I do. It's just, it's an executive dysfunction thing. But anyway, I'm finding out that by doing those things, it at least sets me up for success. When I think back over my very young childhood and realizing all of the bad childhood habits that I had and still have, were not bad habits, but my autism, I have a whole new spin and a whole new perspective on things. Because I always wondered, why my mother acted strange. I could see the strangeness in her, but I didn't see it in myself yet. And actually didn't see it in myself until, very recently. But I sit there and I think to myself, man, my mother was probably autistic and didn't realize it. And then, I was autistic and, didn't realize it. And that whole thing on the importance of self-care just kind of went by the wayside. I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit today, and talk about, the different ways of establishing a new normal for us, because I think we forget about that. We forget to be, kind to ourselves, and realize that maybe all we need is a new normal for us, not necessarily what's normal for other people, because we're never going to be other people. But we can be the best us we can be, whatever that looks like. If anybody would have told me that at the age of 64, I would be establishing a new normal, I would have told them I'm like, what do you mean establish a new normal? I am normal, aren't I? But anyway, the thought of establishing a new normal is a new thought for me. And one of the reasons why I started thinking that way is, quite honestly, I got tired of beating myself up over something that I couldn't control, especially now knowing that I'm autistic and having, all of my life just makes sense now. It's not our fault, it's how our brains work. And so I've been trying to change my mindset with that theory in mind, and it's really helping quite a lot. And it helps a lot too that I can just come on here and just like, brain dump, and try to figure out things as I go. And but I think one of the first things that I'm trying to do as I'm establishing new routines and new normal is making sure that I'm giving myself grace along the way. So you guys, make sure as you're establishing a new normal, and it doesn't matter how long you've known you're autistic or neurodivergent or ADHD, anything. It doesn't matter how long you've known it. It doesn't matter that you haven't moved toward being different. What matters is knowing that your brain is unique and your brain works the way your brain works. And to accept ourselves for who we are, that's the hard part, you guys. Especially since, we thought we were normal and everybody else was crazy. Well, we're not crazy, we're unique. But, that's the one big thing that I guess I wanted to talk about today is as we're moving through establishing new routines for our self-care, realizing that the whole thing for us is always going to be a process. And our process is always going to be different from those who are neurotypical. And I'm good with that. I'm okay with being different. And it's one of the things that I've always loved about myself. I've always loved that I wasn't a part of the crowd and that I wasn't always following that trend or, doing that thing that's expected of you, even though it feels uncomfortable. Kind of, what did they used to say? I beat to a different drummer or something like that. And that's what I've always loved about myself. And quite honestly, that's what my friends love about me too. And all of my boyfriends and spouses. Well, there's only been 2 husbands and, and 1 extra. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here and brain dump that. And I'm proud of myself for establishing new routines and for establishing what's a new normal for me. And I'm glad that my Adderall is helping me to do that. And like I've said before, if I haven't, I'm going to say it again. My Adderall medication is not for everyone. And, it was the choice for me and it's working out for me. And it helps with 30% of my ADHD actually, which is interesting because the rest of me is highly autistic. And taking my Adderall makes my autism more apparent and more noticeable and more upfront. But I'm okay with that because when I'm on my Adderall and I'm actually doing some things and I'm functioning, that part also makes my autism happy because she's like, oh, cool. We're establishing a new routine and she loves new routines. And so I'm at a point where for me, everything right now is a win-win. And as we go forward together, I want to help you find, your little win-wins also. And you guys, it doesn't matter how small the win is. Just like in backgammon or any other game, a win is a win. So take that with you for whatever it's worth and go out there and win today. Win at one little thing today and be proud of that. Give yourself a pat on the back and give yourself a little treat, whatever that little treat is. Mine's going to be a Butterfinger. Anyway, I love you guys. And don't forget to drink plenty of water and stay hydrated because that keeps your brain hydrated too. And we need our brains to function, right? And so the best way for our brains to function at top notch is to make sure our brain stays hydrated. So drink plenty of water. Remember to try to eat at least 1 healthy meal per day. I have not the past 2 days, but today's a new day. And so I'm going to try to eat at least 1 healthy meal today. And be kind to yourself and establish yourself a new normal and have fun with it. Anyway, this is Random Granny, and thank you for spending time with me. I enjoy spending time with you, and I will see you in my next video.